Hello and welcome to A Soul's Experience, a channel dedicated to helping the human race remember who we really are. I'm very excited to be making this video. We're here in the new studio, the new recording space. It isn't actually finished yet, but we have some lighting. We've managed to get some electricity and clear this space, and I'm going to be working on it. But I couldn't help it. I needed to get on and start making some content because it's so important to keep pushing the message, especially this year. And I need to get back to the message for this channel, which ultimately comes down to the fact that we are spiritual beings. But it's so easy on YouTube to become an echo chamber. And what that means is we can all start off with our uniqueness, and then we can hear things along the way. There's nothing wrong with doing research and learning about stuff, because we're all students. All of us are students of life. I believe that even if you're 100 years old, there is still something that we can learn here in this life. I personally want to start focusing on what I know to be true, instead of stuff that sounds great and it sounds like the kind of stuff we want to hear. I have to start speaking about stuff I genuinely know to be true. And I was starting to make videos, and I was deliberately leaving out certain words because my videos, they just kept getting shadow banned, because I was speaking the truth. And so I started trying to get the message across about this year, which is super important. But I was leaving words out, but I'm not going to do that anymore. There's no point, because what happens this year in 2025 is so massive, it's so world changing, that it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore about just trying to keep YouTube happy. Okay, that ship sailed. That ship sailed. It sailed. I'm not keeping YouTube happy anymore. I'm telling the people the truth, because it's getting to the point where if people don't start getting the message out there about this year, then people are going to be caught unawares, and they're not going to see the beautiful golden age that we have coming in 2026. Because this year, it is going to look nothing like a golden age. Let me just say that, and we're going to get into the details now. So like I said at the beginning, I'm only going to speak what I know to be true myself. So, what I know to be true. I know the whole world changes this year. How do I know that? How can I be so certain of that? And I base my whole reputation, everything, my integrity, my morality, my love for you as a human being to another human being. I'm basing my channel, whether I'm just spilling utter nonsense or substance and truth. And you won't find a lot of people who are willing to put a timeline to the things they've seen, okay, to the things they know. They say they know them to be true, but then they say, well, it could be, a human year is 1 year, but in the spirit world could be 1,000 years. To them 1,000 years is like a day, so it could be any time. And they leave it so vague, a lot of people, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I'm sure they mean you no harm. But I'm not about that on this channel. I'm going to tell you what I know to be true. And God wouldn't have gifted me the visions, wouldn't have given me them visions that he's given me. God wouldn't have gifted that to me, wouldn't have gifted me the message, and then wanted me to keep that to myself. That's not how I don't believe that's how this works. So, how do I know the whole world changes this year? Well, back before I even understood anything about spirituality or anything like that, I used to be a normal, I'm still normal, but I used to be a normal 20-year-old back in the day, or a normal teenager. I kind of grew up just skateboarding, partying with my friends. I was never super spiritual, super religious. I didn't think about it. I just kind of cracked on and thought, well, I started buying into the idea of the old Guns N' Roses song, Dust and Bones. We're just dust and bones, so it doesn't matter if you're a good person or a bad person. Nothing really matters, because we all end up in a box, the same place. That was genuinely how I used to live, and it was a scary way to be, thinking that death was the end. And so that led me into all kinds of addiction and all sorts when I was younger. So I was a normal kind of kid growing up, with my own troubles and that. And one day, out of nowhere, I was walking down Abbey Sands in Torquay, down by the beach on a beautiful hot day out in the sun. And I'd been walking for a few miles going towards my dad's house. And out of nowhere, bang, I was hit with this timeline. And this timeline was an instantaneous. I could see the years, and I went through the years. But as I went through the years, it came with a feeling. And this was in 2007. This happened, and I felt all the years going through. Whether they were going to be good years, bad years, something bad happened, something good happened, whether they were stable, whether they were kind of normal. I could kind of feel it all. And it got to 2020. And in 2020, I saw, whoa, what's that? And so I didn't know what it was in details, but I felt it. I felt it like, whoa, the whole world changes. And me being really egotistical at the time, thought it was all about me. And I thought, man, this is massive. Like, this is life-changing. This has got to be like a huge lottery win. You know, I'm going to come into loads of money in 2020 because this is super, like, this changes my life and everyone else's life around me. This has to be like a load of money. That was my mentality at the time. Little did I know, you know, as we got to 2018, 2019, I'm telling all my friends, oh, the world changes in 2020, the world changes. They were saying, what do you mean the world? I said, well, your life changes as well. And I was telling my friends, this is so big. You know, you can ask them, you can ask my friends this, you know, Lewis and Paul and whoever else would listen at the time. Because something happened in 2013 to 2016 that came true. I felt a really dark period of my life. This was in 2007. I felt a dark period. I actually ended up getting locked up for 3 years for getting into a fight that got out of hand. And some people, we all got kind of seriously hurt and, you know, it all got a bit out of hand. But I felt that. And when that came true, I was like, man, that came true. So whatever I feel in 2020 is going to come true. And I was telling everyone. And then, bang, the whole world got locked down. And I was like, this is it. I'm not going to win the lottery. This is the life-changing thing. And I was kind of like, oh man, I really thought I was going to win some sort of jackpot or something, you know, me like hoping for the best because I could feel it was life-changing, but I could feel it was positive. And this is the crazy thing. COVID did not look positive. It didn't look positive at the time and people passing away and all sorts going on. But that was a catalyst because what happened in 2020 is actually linked energetically to 2025, and every year in between is a build up to this year we're in now. This year we're in now, and honestly, I would not say this if I didn't know it to be true. Like I said, all of my reputation, who I am as a person, I've been telling people because as soon as it came true in 2020 that the whole world changed, I kind of looked at my friends and was like, man, that timeline I was shown in 2007 just continues to come true. It continues to come true. I had no idea when it was all coming true that I was going to get into, get into meditation and start a spiritual channel. I didn't know about any of this back then, honestly. So the fact that it was all coming true was just like, it was kind of crazy to me how I could see something that had happened in 2007. I was gifted this timeline. And it was all coming true. And the crazy thing is, after 2020 came true, I've spent the next 5 years waiting for this year. Honestly, and we're here now. We're here. And it's very easy to look around in 2025 and say, well, there's been loads of massive things happen. Like, you could pick any single one of them. Let me tell you, and this isn't to scare you. This is to just let you know, okay? Because God showed me this. What comes this year is so big, it doesn't matter where you are, who you are, whether you're in a jungle, you're going to know about it. You're going to know about it, you're going to hear about it, and it's going to affect your life. It don't matter what country you're in. It doesn't matter what border you're on the side of. It doesn't matter what political party you're on the side of. It doesn't matter what gender you are, what colour you are, whether you're employed or unemployed, whether you've got a home or you're homeless. This thing, whatever happens, is so great that it affects the whole entire world. And the feeling I had about 2020, which was like, whoa, what is that? Like, energetically, it was like, what is that? Right? I'm just saying, what comes in this year is like, wow! And I've made, sorry, I laugh because it isn't anything to be scared of. It really isn't. I laugh because I've made I don't know, 10 videos now about this. And every single time they get shadow banned. And I've tried to mince my words. I've tried to tiptoe around the subject. No more YouTube, no more. The people need to know. What comes this year is... And I'm going to look like a crazy person, but it'll all make sense. Okay? I see 2025 in balloons. It's celebration time, right? Fireworks. But then there's this massive explosion. And it's long. The explosion is long. I don't know why the explosion's so long. I thought an explosion would be bang and it start. This one. And then that's 2025. And then 2026, 2025 kind of collapses in on itself. And there's a golden line that shoots out like a laser. And that goes all the way to 2057. With one heat spot in 2036 to 2039 is just I see fire, a lot of heat. There's a heat. That's going to be hot. Them 3 years. There's something. But anyway, we'll talk about that closer to the time. This year is the explosion, and then like a cracking in of itself. If you can imagine, it cracks in, it folds in on itself, and it births 2026, which is a new. 2026 is the new age, the golden age that they've been speaking about. That's what was shown to me. That is literally what was shown to me. This golden line, and I don't know why I can't see past 2057. I just saw that year, and I'll be 70 years old in 2057. I'll be 70 because I'm 38 now. But this timeline has been accurate. Everything I was felt energetically has happened. And so I know that to be true. And this year, and it isn't, I really, really don't want you to be scared, because the golden age that's coming cannot come if we don't have a breakdown of the ways we are living at the minute. Okay, this thing is so big, it's a reset in a sense. It's a reset. And you will be safe if your soul has chosen to be here for this journey. Okay, this is what you have to, this is where faith comes in. You choose your storyline before you come here. You choose your path. You choose your destiny. You choose what you're going to look like, who your parents are going to be, who your siblings are going to be, who your pets are going to be. We choose all of that before we come here. That's already predestined. Our free will is how we act and react to our destiny. Basically, that's our free will, is how we act and react to our destiny. So we can kick and scream at the parts we don't like, and we can throw our hands up and say woohoo on the parts we do like. Or the parts that potentially we don't like, we can go woohoo, isn't this fun? And we can look at the fun times and go, this is, it's really fun, but it's a bit boring because the craziness is where it's at. It just depends how you look at life. It really does. But I'm getting off topic. But what was I even talking about? I just completely lost my train of thought there. It was just, woohoo, let's go back. We're just on the roller. I just imagine being on a roller coaster then, because this life is a roller coaster. But God, what was I talking about? Yeah, 2025, it all changes. Bang, there's a big golden line. But I can't see past 2057. Okay, we'll go back to there, which I'll be 70 years old. I'm hoping I live longer than there. But what was crazy is when I passed my driving test, I flipped it over to see when I'd have to renew it, and on the back there it said 2057, which was kind of like a bang. It was kind of like another reminder, like, whoa, the timeline. And so these videos from now on this year, I'm going to not keep going off on tangents about how you should live your life and what's good and what's bad, and all this kind of stuff about just opinions. I don't want there to just be opinions in these videos. These videos are going to be straight facts. And you might look and go, oh, visions and this, how can we class that as a fact? Well, you don't have to. You don't have to, but when it happens, at least you'll be able to come back to these videos and see, okay, Sean said this was going to happen. He said this was going to happen. What can I do now? Has he, he was right about the event. Is he right about how we can now move on with this event? What can we do practically in our human experience to cope with what is coming? Well, let's get into that now. What we have to do is remember that we are souls. And I remember where I was now. If we chose... if we chose to stick around for this great awakening, which is basically what we're going through right now, the process of the awakening, if our souls chose to stick around for this, then there is not a single entity on this planet that can remove you from this planet because of your free will and because of your destiny that you have chose. Okay? We might get hurt, we might get injured, we might be in some pain for a while, but if your soul has chose to stick around for this time, then it has chose. If it chooses to leave, then that's your choice. That's your choice if you choose to leave. There may be many, many, many reasons people choose to leave, and it isn't because they don't love you. It really isn't, it isn't because they want, because life's unfair. Although it really does feel like that a lot of the time sometimes when we go through loss. It's because in the darkest of times is where there's something we're supposed to learn. And in these darkest of times, with the human being can carry such a range of emotion from bliss and joy to despair and hopelessness and every single thing in between. And it's that beautiful array of emotions that makes human beings what they are. And if we was to just feel joy all the time, we would be one-dimensional. We'd just be one-dimensional. There would be no such thing as motivation or determination, because why? I'm already blissful. I'm already ecstatic. Why do I need to chase anything? Why do I need to try and learn something when I'm already 100% content? Learning is about overcoming and achieving and building on top of what we have. If we was already complete 100%, we would never have the need to want to do that. Which is why we come down into limitations of the physical world, into these limiting bodies with these limited projectors, basically the human brain acting as a restrictor so that we're only operating on 1% of our overall power as souls. That is why this life can feel so unfair when we lose somebody, because we feel like they're really gone because we can't see them, even though they can see us and watch us through our lives and try to communicate with us. We're not in their vibration. We're not basically where they are. And the way to understand that is if you imagine a radio station and we're on channel 3, even though it's all in the same place, you dial it up a bit, they might be on channel 7 or channel 6. They might be in the higher channels. Not that that's better or worse, but just a different place in the radio system. Well, if you look at our galaxy as a kind of radio system, we're on channel 3. We can only listen and perceive things that are on that channel. But things that are on channel 6 or 5, we're going to have to tune ourselves up to be able to communicate with things on that channel. And that's how it works, because we're all energy, vibration and frequency. That's how this whole place works. So as I'm speaking right now, it's very possible my mum, who passed away when I was 14, is sat right here thinking, get on, son. What are you up to today then? You know what I mean? Like, sat there, I could have my ancestors there watching right now and I can't see them. But I can think about them. And you know what? When you sit there in the quiet and you think about someone and you get that shiver over your body and you get the hairs stand up, that's their energy, that's their essence coming to say hello. And all it takes is for you to think about a loved one, for them to know that you are in their hearts and they are in your hearts. And for eternity, you will always be connected. And nothing can break that. Only a perception of time, which doesn't actually exist. But while we're here having this human experience, time can feel so long when you miss somebody. So if you do happen to lose somebody, or if you have lost somebody, please remember that I'm not asking you to not feel the pain, because it hurts. And there's days where, I lost my mum over 20 years ago. Over 20 years ago I lost my mum, and there's days where I still feel the pain. I think about her and think, I wish you met your grandchildren. I wish you saw my first tattoo. I wish you could see what I'm doing now. But, I wish you saw me play guitar or anything. I was too young for her to really get to see me blossom into a young man. And it hurt for a long time. But I know now that she has watched me blossom into a young man. I've not been able to interact with her in the same way if she was here on Channel 3 in the 3D world here on Earth. But she has watched me grow up. And when I pass over back home where she is now, we can have the best catch up and conversation about what she's been up to, about what I've been up to, and we can just sit there and talk for eternity and get to love each other again, knowing that we were never ever actually separated. It just felt like that way for a long time. So have no fear. If you have chosen to stay here, you will be here and you will remain here. And if you lose somebody, go through the emotion, feel that pain, because there's something to be learned, that when you come out the other side, and when that pain teaches you to reach for something greater, when that pain shows you that how can they actually really be gone, the essence of who they are is everywhere still. When everything still reminds you of that person, when that person is still there eternally inside of your heart, how can they ever truly be gone? They can't. And they're not, which is the great thing, which took me years to find out. But I would never have searched without the pain of losing my mother. And that's just a fact. And it's, God, I wish there was a better way. I wish I didn't have to learn through such a painful method of losing my mum. But that's obviously what I chose before coming to Earth. I chose that. And so I can't blame the world and act like a victim. I have to just stay strong in my beliefs and in my faith, you know, and have patience. Patience is something I struggle with. Patience and grace are two things I'm trying to learn. I'm not a very graceful person when I get annoyed. When I get angry, my emotions are written all over my face. I'm trying to learn grace and I'm trying to learn patience, because if we can understand that time is an illusion, then I know that in the blink of an eye, I'm going to be reunited with all my friends and all my nans and my granddads and my mum and whoever else, my pets, whoever else we've lost along the way, will be reunited with them again. And that's a promise. I told you, I'm not just talking rubbish on this channel anymore. I'm talking straight facts, and I wouldn't say it if I didn't know it to be true. So maybe I will make another video on that, but I just wanted this video to be about this year specifically and how I knew about this year. I think one of the reasons I started having spiritual experiences was because of my near-death experience when I was 6. I do want to do another video about that. I've gone into quite some detail about that, which was super interesting. One thing I did struggle with on my near-death experiences is finding an angel that looked like the angel I met. I just haven't found one that looks quite like her. They're all too I'm not sure how to explain it. They're not human looking enough in the pictures. Like when you look at pictures of angels, they make them look a certain way, like really like pointy jaws or like big bone structure and things like that, where this angel I met was actually a little bit plump, like a chubby blonde angel in a sense, like really healthy looking angel, like she had meat on her bones. She was big, a big angel. And I've not actually found a picture like that yet of her, but I'm gonna try. That's another video for another time. But the takeaway message from this video is, do not live in fear, and have trust that no matter what happens, it is perfect. No matter how much it hurts, it is perfect. No matter how much it makes you feel good, it is perfect. Because feeling good and feeling bad, they are perceptions on how we like to perceive certain things. So it's an individual choice. One person does push-ups and they love it. They love the growth. They love the pain. The pain means their muscles are growing. It means they've had a good session. Another person does a push-up. It hurts. They hate it. They never want to do it again. It's the same thing. One person loves it. One person hates it. And we can pretty much put that on anything except loss. Loss is always going to hurt, and it's meant to. Because imagine how good it's going to feel. And if you're not quite a believer, I don't class myself as a believer, because I've had experiences that have confirmed to me that we live beyond the body. So I'm more of a knower. I don't like the term believer, because a believer means you're trying to believe in something you don't quite yet. You haven't been shown any proof of. Well, the good Lord has shown me proof multiple times through meditation, through dying, leaving the body. I just wish I had an internal camera that could project what I've seen through meditation. That would be insane if you could see some of the things I've seen. yeah, it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy. All I can do is just tell you about them, and then it's up to you to make your mind up. And also, I had a video. I don't know if this was kind of confrontational. For me, it would be an awesome video. Honestly, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. It's absolutely free, and it helps the message get out there of love and unity, and that's what this channel's about. And we get some really helpful information. We have some really great guests on the channel. We go through lots of stuff. We release songs on this channel. We have days out on this channel. We just hit the woods, hit nature parks on this channel, and it's just a soul's experience, this channel. It's a lot of talking, a lot of trying to work out this life with lots of experiences in between. So you never know what you're going to get on this channel. So please like and subscribe. It really helps out, and I really, really appreciate it. For those of you that have already subscribed to this channel, thank you for sticking around. I know it's been a while since I've made a video, but we're back, and we're going to make this space really, really great, a really comfortable space to be. So yeah, just for all of you that are out there, just remember that each one of you are unique fingerprints on the finger, on the hand of divine themselves. And without one of you, this universe would not be perfect. It could not be. It could not be, because if you remove your soul, you're removing a piece of God, a piece of the divine, a piece of the universe. And to lose a piece of the universe is just impossible. The universe is growing, it's expanding, it isn't shrinking, it isn't getting smaller. We are not losing souls, we are making souls, and we are making soul experiences all the time. So I want to thank you all for being down here on earth with me and all of us at this beautiful time of awakening. Please remember, something great is going to happen this year. It may not look it in the physical plane, it may look like something completely destructive, but we cannot have a golden age without breaking down the old iron age, the old stone age, the old age of the revolutions and the industrial age, the age of smoky burning fuel. It's the time for free energy. We're going into the age of Aquarius. We're going into the age of love, unity and power. Power individually and power unitedly as souls, and every single one of us is what makes up the divine consciousness that can never be destroyed, never be taken away, never be forgotten, never to be shamed, never to be put down or blamed. We can only grow in love and in experience. We are perfect, we are born perfect, we will die perfect. And on that note, please have a beautiful day today. Enjoy the weather if it's sunny out there. Wrap up if it's cold out there. Get your umbrella if it's raining. Put your roller skates on if it's windy, and go have some fun. This is what life's about. Enjoy your Sunday, people. I love you all. I hope you all have an amazing Mother's Day, an amazing weekend, and I will see you soon. Take care for now. Bye-bye. I'll see you soon. Much love.
There's not much to do when all I can is thinking about you. Not doing well, don't know where you are, 'cause you're not here. It's been way too long.